All right, welcome to another episode of Roundball podcast presented by High Noon Hard Seltzers, the best best vodka soda in the game. It's real vodka, real juice, presented by real people like myself. I'm actually gonna be going to Michigan this weekend to drink some High Noons and go watch my friend Hunter Dickinson play at Michigan against Michigan State. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere, and I want everyone drinking High Noons with me. Go get it at your liquor store because it's real vodka and get it on Drizzly, whatever it is. I love the black cherry. I like the peach. I like the watermelon. They have so many flavors for anyone. And it's the best thing because you can, as a man, as a woman, you can drink it at the bar. No one's judging you for nothing. So it's the best drink in the world, one of the best logos in the world. Just makes you happy when you see it. Go buy some High Noon Hard Seltzers at your local liquor store or on Drizzly. All right. I would say this is a little bit of a highly anticipated episode because let me break this down for all of you. We recorded an episode. I talk to Hunter almost every day. Um, we record an episode on Tuesday morning. Hunter is very quiet about and I was like, oh shit, like he's actually like not going to say anything about Wisconsin. He already said they were scumbags a while ago. Like he's going to this game focused, not saying anything. No, no, don't give him anything else. And then this motherfucker, I'm watching the game. I came home from Valentine's Day dinner, like great night. I sit down, I'm watching. Right when I turn the TV on, it says podcast, like Barstool Sports Podcast, Roundball, and Hunter Dickinson quote like they're just scumbags. Like, oh my god, that's amazing. But the second thing, I see the man wearing a motherfucking ski mask, and I'm like, and even my girlfriend Rhea was like, "Did he tell you he was going to do that?" I was like, "No." That's something you would think. I'd be like, let's look out for this, or like, oh, let's alert someone for this. He had a ski mask game. It was outrageous. I was like, oh, I was so stunned. And like Doogs and Jordan were laughing their ass up in the. And I wanna be clear before you talk and everything. I don't care what you say about Hunter Dickinson. I don't give a fuck about what you think, whatever. This is why college basketball is fucking amazing. Michigan and Wisconsin don't like each other no matter what. Michigan and Wisconsin are both teams that are not in the tournament right now. And this motherfucker right here made you care about a game that no one honestly cared too much about because they're not top teams. Like, that's just a fact. And that's, hey, you move the needle, and that counts. And people are saying you didn't back it up. You had 13 points in the first half. You just didn't do anything in the second half. I don't think that's fully your fault. But everyone's like kind of coming at you, which I think I also am on their side as well. They should come at you because you lost. Like that, I think that's where I think you also understand that being on the internet now. Like you did set yourself up for that. like his big cat even was saying too is like if he won that game, you won that game, you would have doubled down and like you would have probably pulled your pants down on the court of what you were doing there. Like you would have done some crazy shit. And that's what sports are about, double down. But you put yourself out there, really put yourself out there with a ski mask, and you lost, which is bad. You can't lose you're 0-1 in ski mask games. But explain to me top to bottom the why you wore a ski mask, where that came from, the aftermath, the game. Bring it to me. But I do want to give you credit because there's nobody doing shit in college basketball. Like, bro, I don't care. Like, you're one of the best players in college basketball. That's just a fact. But no one else is being like outspoken. Like, you're just being yourself. I know you on a personal level. Now I feel like that's just you. You're like, fuck it. That's funny. And like, you're laughing. Like, it is funny. You lost, but it's like, it's not completely your fault. So tell me everything.
Yeah, all right. So I'll start with that.
You
I'll
agree
probably
with me
say,
though?
yeah. I mean, I agree. Like it, I would say it's probably hard for a lot of guys because there's already a lot of pressure on people, like just naturally within the game, and like as a high Division 1 basketball player, there's already high pressure on these guys to perform each night, and so a lot of guys don't want to make or don't want to add any pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to add any pressure to themselves of having to perform. They don't want the pressure of having, hundreds of people in their mentions after the game if they lose. And so for me, I mean, I've always like people are gonna hate like people are gonna be in the mentions regardless. So like, what does it matter if there's a couple few extras? And for me, it's like, yeah, like I don't have a problem taking that chance because like at the end of the day, I'll face the cameras, I'll face the lights if I need to.
Which I'm impressed. Like you're on the podcast the next day. Like you know what you did, and you're here to face it. Which I think people also have to give you credit for.
That's what I'm saying. Like you don't have to like me, but I feel like you got to respect, you know, the integrity. You know,
I
what I'm saying
like that. Yes,
you
that
got to
that's
respect
what
the
I'm trying to get
integrity.
at. You don't have to like you, but you have to respect it a little bit.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you're not gonna like me, and I don't want you to like me, but you got to at least respect me coming on, like, and not taking it like at least I'm not trying to like take my words back or anything like that. Like, I feel like that would be disingenuous. Like, I feel like that's when people could really hate me if I'm trying to like say something, but then I apologize for like if you're gonna say something, bro, and you believe it, like you got to stand on it,
Oh,
that's what I feel like I'm about. If I'm gonna say something and I believe it, I'm gonna stand on it, and if I need to, I'll double down on it. And I feel like the Wisconsin game was like a triple down, and
yeah, it was. It might be a quad. They asked you, do you think that like do you take back like be like do you call them scumbags? And you're like no, and they wrote a whole thing on ESPN. I didn't even know you could say scumbags on ESPN.
yeah,
And
they asked me
bro,
before the game.
Hunter, they read it, bro. They read it on the broadcast. Like they said scumbag. I was sitting on my couch like, and I respect you though for not being like, yeah, I said that, and like, and again, I want all the people to know it. Like, I'm not trying to throw my other guy under the bus, but like Connor McCaffrey came on here and said the same exact thing. It's not just Hunter saying this shit. So
Hey, we'll give a shout out to Connor McCaffrey, highest assist to turnover ratio in the country. Shout out Connor.
he's a you look at the box score guy and you're like, why is everyone talking about him? But when you watch him, he does everything.
I think they play Wisconsin I think they play Wisconsin on no, like probably like next week. I think.
I mean, we
Should get
might
him
have
on-
to have him back on.
We might have to have him back on for sure. We might have to have him back on, but
So
what was
what was the when like I said, we were on the podcast, you didn't say anything. What was the when did the idea? Did you talk to anyone about the ski mask? When did that
Oh,
come about?
I've had the ski mask idea for months now. That was ready. I was ready for months.
I kind of like that you didn't tell me because I was like seeing it
Yeah,
was
that's
like
what I was thinking, Marty. I was like, man, I feel like the shock and surprise is a little bit better.
it is. No, it is. Like I'm not mad at you for not telling me. It's just funny. I was like, how like that's something you'd think you'd even just say offline. And it was like I wish you saw my I wish I was filming myself. It was insane. But you had that idea for Wisconsin?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That was definitely an idea, months in the making. I mean, that was a game that obviously we circled, when the schedule came out, and so that was something that I thought about a while. I mean, uh, I was so pissed off at the in warm-ups when my media guy came to me and was like, people are trying to correlate your ski mask to what happened at Michigan State, and I was like,
See,
bro,
now that's just like don't even fuck around with that shit.
I'm like, bro, that's like the stupidest. Like, that's what's wrong with people, bro.
Yeah.
Like, like what are like if you're gonna reach that, like, do you like
That's
I
like
swear,
you're a piece of
not
shit for
people.
even thinking that,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. Like, people literally are trying to make a narrative, even in the worst times. Like when something so tragic like that happens,
Like
they
that,
still
like
want to try to push a narrative.
sports has nothing to like we are people. We feel awful for everyone involved in that. Like you don't wish that upon your worst enemy. Like the Michigan State shit is tragic, like real life shit. Don't try and bring a ski mask into Wisconsin thing. Like you're not thinking about Michigan State. Like that's just stupid. If anyone's saying that shit, go fuck yourself. That is
Yeah, especially how much like the people of Michigan have rallied around like and unified over this thing. I feel like this thing is
Bro,
Like
that shit hits close home to you. I feel like it's
that's what I'm
close.
saying. That's like it's literally 45 minutes away at
Yeah.
a school that like I mean like it's like yeah no it just hits super home and like we were all freaking out because it's like we were getting texts because I mean like everybody knows people at Michigan State, so
Mhm.
everybody was getting texts and updates, and it just was getting like the story was getting crazier and crazier like by the minute, and so it was just a super crazy time. But I mean, Michigan has really unified together around it, and whether you're blue or green, I feel like people have really been kind of sticking together, and I think that just goes to show you like some like a lot of stuff is bigger than sports.
Facts. No, that's a good way. You put that very well. Like again, prayers to everyone around it. Michigan, anyone at Michigan State. Like I couldn't even imagine being in that situation, and it's awful thing that happened. And where prayers are out for you guys. There, you guys play each other Saturday, which like I feel like is going to be. If it happens, I'm not sure. Michigan State hasn't said anything. They canceled 48 hours worth of athletics, which is just you should like make sure everyone's okay, what's going on, assess everything. But it's to me an emotional game. Like obviously it's a big game for like sports wise, both of you. But I think it will be kind of cool to their first game back. It's in Michigan, like a rival, like kind of doing a tribute for them and shit too, right?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be super weird, man, because it's like the emotions of a normal Michigan State game is already there, but then you add on this, and I think just a lot of people are gonna be, I guess, on edge because this will probably be like the first big Michigan State event since the tragic event, and so I think a lot of people are gonna be like on edge and trying to figure out what the mood and what the vibe is going to be like. And, obviously we're going to have some type of, tribute and moment of silence for what happened. And, I'm not sure what we're going to do in terms of, showing our support, but it'll probably be, a pretty unified thing. And it'll probably be a little weird for, um, the first couple minutes, just of not knowing, how everything's going to play out. But I think, once the ball starts rolling a little bit and we get into the game, I think it'll be, a pretty normal game, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean you gotta play the game no matter what. You do the respectful thing and the human thing is just be with them before it, like tribute everyone, give everyone your prayers, and then it's basketball after that. Because again, like you need to win this game.
Yeah, and if we lose this one, then we pretty much have to win out to get to the tournament. So this is a very huge game for us. I think everybody knows that.
All right, so back to the Wisconsin game. You walk in with your ski mask. Did you see someone with a camera and you're like, oh.
Yeah, yeah. No, once I was walking to the locker room, I saw the people, doing the little reverse walk following me, and so I knew that was pretty much going to be on ESPN. And so I was
Barstool
like, well,
Sports as well.
here we go. Um, I mean, but like, it's like
But
at the
dude,
end of
that's kind of cool. Like, bro, you're 21 years old.
yeah,
21,
no,
22.
22, 22.
22. You're 22 years old. Like, you're gonna look back at that one day like you lost. It sucks, but it's like the whole country was talking about you.
Yeah,
And like, I know
that's,
you're not doing it for that. Like, and you see it, but like, it's just sports, man. It's cool.
yeah. Like, I mean, people were like he's such a fool. He's such a clown. He's such an idiot. Or like, it's
Wow, we
just
really
because
are.
like,
We are really are best friends. It's mine say the same thing.
but it's just like, I mean, like, bro, if I mean that's just what I am. Like, I'm like a funny, like, I do funny and like I try like stuff I do is funny, and like if you didn't laugh at that, then like I mean, like I don't really care if you don't laugh at it. Like,
Yeah, you did it for
and
yourself
so
too.
like everybody I know was dying over it, and so for me, like if you don't like it, then I don't really care. Like, and if you're a Michigan fan and don't like it, I don't care either. Like, if you don't want to watch, I'm not pressing the remote to turn on the channel. Like, I don't care if you watch or not. Like, the people who want
Fan,
to watch will watch, and so I mean, it was a decision that I made, and if I could do it again, yeah, like
Double down, motherfucker.
Yeah, like
Double down. Like,
obviously, if I knew we were gonna lose,
you wouldn't
I
do it.
wouldn't do it, obviously. But like, if you give me another chance at it, not knowing the end result, I'm gonna do it again.
Will you ever do another ski mask?
Ah,
I don't know if you can soon.
I think
if you
I
just
think
wear it the next Wisconsin game.
I think the villain arc will have to take a little bit of a of a timeout for a little bit, like just calm down a little bit, try to win a game, and then get back to it. But um, probably not another ski mask game for a while. I'll say that.
Um, all right, so ski mask that happens. You guys are in the game the whole time. You went down a little bit early in the second half, down like 12 or whatever, and then Wisconsin scored for 10 minutes. Before we get to like that, because we'll wrap up soon, we have an interview with Anthony Wright, right?
Yep.
Anthony Wright. I was not on it. Unfortunately, I was shooting commercial from 11 to 7 today. My back is in shambles. You know those drums people wear, like when they go
Uh-huh.
like this? I had to wear one for like 45 minutes. My back, I
Oh,
got like, bro, I got scoliosis from it. My back
oh
is in
man.
shambles. But we have an interview coming up after this, and you guys told me it was fantastic. You talked ball, right?
Yeah, I think it was a really informative podcast, especially for Michigan fans. We kind of went into depth about the team.
This guy what? This guy is froze. He's back.
We'll have Champa edit that one. But we went into depth about the team and what he thinks is going wrong with the team, where he thinks I think we talked about Kobe's play recently. We talked a little bit about the tournament as a whole, a couple teams to watch out for, a couple coaches that are on the rise, a couple possible new candidates for head coaching jobs and stuff like that. I think it was a really good episode. Ant Wright's pretty respected, especially around the Big Ten media. So,
Yep.
I think people really enjoy that one.
So that's coming up next. But to finish it all out, because we're not going to go through a lot of the games. Like this was basically the. Do you double down on the scumbag comment?
I
Wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask.
I told before the game, I told the people from ESPN, they were like, do you regret it, or like would you take it back? And I was like, do I regret it saying it? Maybe. Like if I could go back again in time, would I say it? Probably not. But will I take it back? No. Like I'm not going to take back what I said, because then it's just like disingenuous, and it's like he's just a liar. Like if I feel that way, like I'm going to say it. Like you just want me to, like, if I was like Marty, I take back what I said. Like
Oh,
what would people think of me?
you'd be the biggest. You honestly would be the biggest pussy.
That's
You
what I'm
would,
saying.
and like
Like
I respect, like even if people have some bad things, they not like you didn't even say anything bad. Like scumbag is it's just a whatever word. It's just I think it's a funny word, and like you didn't say anything bad. You just like look, they play a little like again. Connor McCaffrey came on here. They play dirty, and that's a thing in the Big Ten. What people say.
yeah, it's not just me. So
Yeah, it's not just you. It's just that you are a bigger name and you are a fantastic villain, in my opinion. And you're not even really a villain. That's the funny thing. Like it's you. It's like villains in my mind was unfortunately Grayson Allen, but like he was out there tripping people. Well, not he wasn't tripping people in my eyes. He was just he had a little twitch in his foot and they ran over it. I don't know what people were saying, but like you. Bro, I'm gonna tell you, it was the most excited, and it's not even because I just knew you. It probably helped a little bit, but like it was the funnest first half of a basketball game I've watched because you running back to the student section, going like this, and then doing your three and like shooting the gun was like you took on the entire stadium yourself.
yeah,
That's sick. No one gets to experience that. and I haven't. Like I've gotten booed by maybe 20 people, maybe 40 in a game. But like that is so cool because they don't boo nobodies. That's just a fact. And you did back it up in the first half. What happened in the second half? Like what do you, like they didn't score for 10 minutes, 20, 40 seconds. You still lost by 5, which now that's 6 games you've lost by 5 points or fewer. Like that's disgusting because I'd rather get blown out than lose by 5.
Yeah, no, I was telling somebody that earlier. I think in the locker room after the game, I was like, bro, like I'd rather just get blown out and know we have no chance of losing than to keep just losing these close games because it's
Like
just so
knowing you could have won.
demoralizing. It's so demoralizing, bro. Like just being there and being like, bro, we have a chance, we're right here, and then just not making the plays to do it is just really demoralizing. I think in the second half, man, they did a really good job of denying me the ball. It was just, it was, what people call a rock fight of just guys just throwing the ball at the rim and not making it on both sides. It was just an old fashioned rock fight where buckets were really hard to come by. Obviously, they didn't score the last 10 minutes of the game. It was straight free throws. And I feel like, they got a little help with that from some people. I don't normally say that, but I feel like that game was just bad in that sense. Like, it was just bad. I'm just like, bro, I felt like I normally never, ever talk about them, but it was just bad. It was,
So talk to me about because I don't want you to get in trouble at all, and don't like this is not me setting you up in any way, but like watching the game, you guys were yelling at the refs nonstop. One, the ball went completely out on Wisconsin in that when Kobe was on him, or it was
bro,
Doug. Like it went straight off the guy's
bro,
foot.
everybody on the, we talked, did we talk about this? I think this might have been off air with Ant. Bro, everybody started walking down the court,
Yeah, it
and
was like the
Doug
most
Doug was
blatant thing in the
arguing with the
world.
ref. I'm like, I was telling Doug, I'm like, Doug, like they called it our ball. Don't worry about it.
You
To
said
come to
that.
find, yeah, to come to find out, 15 seconds later, they just call it their ball. I'm like, bro, everybody's on the other side of the court for a reason, and that was just like, it literally felt like it. Like I don't know, maybe this might be the one to get me in trouble, but like it just felt like it was two different games out there, bro. Like I'm like refs are never going to be perfect, but it just felt like there wasn't. It just felt like it wasn't mistakes. Like it felt like it was just two different games out there, bro. Like obviously they played better. They made plays when we didn't, so they deserve to
Yeah,
win the
this is
game.
not for everyone. This is not him blaming the refs for like
Yeah, no, no, no. I'm
game.
never going. I'm never going to like. You can never blame the refs because it's like, bro. At the end of the day, you got to make the plays. Like they're not
Yeah.
gonna like. They're not just like at the end of the day, you either got to make the play or you don't, and we didn't, and they did, so they won the game. But it's just like it
Because
just felt like
Juwan, I
it
mean,
felt like we were playing two different games.
Juwan got teed up, which didn't help because that was another possession. But like I know sometimes coaches got to get teed up, but the ref like wasn't even looking at him. Like he
But it
didn't.
goes back to like he felt like it was two different games being
Yeah,
called. Like the travels that were being called on Kobe, it felt like he felt like they were doing the same stuff on the other end, and so like
I didn't see those as travels either. Yeah, it was there was a lot of questionable calls,
and
and
so that's why it was just even more frustrating because it's like, bro, like I understand if you're like I I just like I think me as a player, and I feel like a lot of I know I think coaches feel the same way. Like you don't, it's not going to be perfect. The refing is never going to be perfect. Like they're going to make mistakes, and I think I've realized this coming of age and just being like mature, realizing like the refs are going to make mistakes because it's like I mean, as a player, you miss shots, so they're going to miss calls too, and so
yeah.
there's some things that you just got to live with. But like, you just want it to be consistent to where it's like they're calling the game this way on this end, the same way they're calling it on the other end. And in that game, it just felt like it wasn't that way. It felt like the game was officiated one way on that end and another way on the other end. And so, I mean, again, I'm not blaming the refs. We lost the game. We didn't make the plays that we needed to. So, I mean, that's the bottom line at the end of the day.
Um, one thing I was laughing at because one that guy I'm just gonna say it. You don't have to say it. That guy tried to hurt you when you went up. he almost took out your legs. I think that's a number one no when a player is going up, you don't go under his legs.
I'm saying, Marty, like that's just like if you ask, like this is why I wish like this is why I love when other Big Ten players. That's just the play you don't do. Like that's
Ever.
just the play you don't make on the basketball floor. Like they make plays that aren't basketball plays, and like I just like
And try and get away with he tried to like say that he just went under you, went like this. It's like, bro, you almost like a 7'1" guy jumping up, you going under your legs can literally ruin your life.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's why it's just like, bro, they make plays that aren't basketball plays, and that's why it's just like that's why again I'll never take back what I say. Like
Yeah, no, I think you
if I
should
say
stand
it,
by.
I'm gonna stand on it. If I believe it, I'm gonna stand on it. I'm gonna stand on it.
Yep, stand by that. One thing I was laughing at though, when you're a big boy, you ain't going on the floor that easily.
You talking about the end of the game,
The one where they looked at for a technical foul. Yeah.
bro? No, because I was
But
tired of them. I was
yeah,
tired of
no,
them.
you did it right. You did it right. You didn't you 100% like you were sick because you were getting a lot of like they were bumping into you like they weren't calling shit for you. I think you had to do that. That was like a desperation like you better fucking call this foul.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I was tired of them just grabbing me on every rebound. Like every rebound, I'm trying to go up with two hands. They're just pulling one of them down. Like they're just locking my arms. Like I was just tired of it on every
Is that
play.
sorry, is that why a lot of offensive rebounds you think?
Yeah, and well, I mean, I would say
Not all, but
more on the defensive, more when we were trying to get offensive rebounds. But like, bro, they do so much like grabbing and holding that like either the refs don't see or they just don't want to call it. But like, they just do so much of it to where it's like it just after a while, bro, you're just like, bro, like why are you?
it's a tough way to stop. I'll be back in a second.
After a while, you just get so tired of getting held and just like, bro, like I'm tired of it. Like I'm gonna sell this call because it's like you can get mad at me for whatever, but like if it's been happening for the past 5 or 6 possessions, like I'm not gonna just let it like I'm gonna let it be known that like you're either gonna call something on this play.
Yeah, no, I appreciated your you going down. Let me ask you one more question about the game. When you blocked, that was a sick block at the end of the game. Like you fucking dummied him up, smacked him away. Were you? What was this?
It's called bottle. It's saying you're bottling them up.
Okay, that was kind of cool. I need to know lingo. You know, I'm 28. I'm getting old. I didn't
Yeah,
know
no, I mean, he got me on a couple because I wasn't expecting them to post them up as much. So he got me on a couple moves early on, and so towards the end of the game, I was like, no, this isn't going to happen. I mean, he got me one. He scored one bucket on me in the second half, and I think he got a three. But other than that, I think that was it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we wanted to talk about that game. I think you said it all correctly. I'm glad that you understand that people can make fun of you because I think you would as I think you would as you have to know that's coming if you lose. Like you're not.
Yeah, I mean, like the position that I'm in now with the platform I have with this podcast, like I
Let me tell you,
know
people can talk shit about our podcast, whatever it is.
they can say it's terrible, Marty. They don't listen to it, but they talk about it.
You do listen to it because you know about it. Everyone in college basketball knows about it, and I don't give a fuck. We're on ESPN, and if no one wants to talk about it, we're talking about it. We're on ESPN, and if you hate it, because we also like not everyone's gonna like Michigan. No, not everyone's gonna like me. Not everyone's gonna like you. Jordan has been on in a month, but regardless, I just think it's what you're doing. I think needs to give a little more credit because like you are growing a brand for yourself, and I also think it's cool as a fan getting to talk to you about these in-game things that we'll never know exactly what it is. And other players can say whatever the fuck they want if they think it's stupid or if they think it's whatever. I think you got to give more credit for putting yourself out there, and also like as a fan, bro, stop being a pussy and like appreciate like you're getting in-game intel. Stop fucking saying stop going on a podcast. It's like, bro, just because you talk doesn't mean you forget how to play basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I people are like, you can't talk smack if you can't back it up, and like I always go back to the Michael Jordan, The Last Dance documentary when he says it's easy to talk smack when you're ahead. It's very easy when you're about to win the game and Wisconsin wants to start talking. Yeah, Marty, the internet's bad,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's easy to talk smack when the game's about to end and you're up and Wisconsin will start talking to me. Then it's easy to say it. Then it's harder when the score is 0-0 or when you're down.
or 2 hours before the game.
It's a lot harder then. You don't see people doing it then. You see them when they're up 4 with 10 seconds left. That's when they want to start. They don't want to start when it's 0-0.
Any podcast?
Yeah,
Anyone saying what's podcast?
the crowd was pretty good out there. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was
Real good. They're a good call.
that was probably one of the better ones I've seen, especially this year. And so I'll tip my hat to them for that.
But there was a couple of like, fuck the podcast.
Oh yeah. A lot of scumbag, a lot of podcasts.
No one said anything about me, right?
No. They're the prime Marty comments were when you weren't signed.
Oh, I'm sorry because I'm back.
Yeah. And now that you got the contract, now that you're legit certified.
Yeah. How do you think I'll be treated this weekend? I feel like I'm gonna be half and half.
I mean, you're gonna be in the Maze Rage, so you'll be accepted.
Has always been nice to me. Like when I went to Michigan, like I've been very welcomed.
I mean, the Michigan gets a bad rap sometimes because our fan base is so big that like there's going to be some bad apples that you see on Twitter just of bad fans, but the core majority of Michigan fans are great, and so you'll be well received. Everybody I talk to likes the podcast, so.
Well, we'll be chilling. We're gonna shoot a video of like rivalry weekend with Hunter, like a little bit on Friday. You got a spot? We're going to dinner Friday.
Are you paying? Are you buying?
Yeah, I'll buy.
Oh, okay.
I really am. I'm buying.
All right.
Well, he's gonna fucking bring me to the most expensive steakhouse.
Yeah, it depends what you're looking for, Marty. You looking for some Italian?
I don't. I could go Italian. I'll
give you the best steak you ever had.
You bring. I want you to surprise me. But we're gonna be with him as long as we can on Saturday as well. We're going to the game. And can I get some shots up? You gotta see my jump.
Yeah. I mean, we can get some shots up Friday if you want.
Yeah, we'll go Friday. We'll talk more what we want to do, but it'd be kind of cool to see like the ins and outs of what Hunter's day looks like during a rivalry weekend. Games at 9:00 at night, which is
I thought it was 8. I thought they changed it to 8. Is it 9?
Let me see if it says it right now. But
I hope it's 8. I hope it's not 9.
Michigan, 8:00.
Thank you.
Fox, because I think it was going to be on ESPN, but I think it's Fox now. All right, well, that's the show. We have an interview coming up with Anthony Wright. Great episode with him. Sorry I missed it, but check out Hunter and myself and Doogs will be in Ann Arbor. I can't believe I'm going to see you this weekend.
You said what?
I can't believe I'm coming to a game.
I know this is a long time coming, man. But
I'm going to back-to-back games, bro.
I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah. You better dap me up in both games. That's all I gotta say. And
yeah.
All right, that's the show. Here's our interview with Anthony Wright.
All right, we're here with Ant Wright, Hunter. This is probably the end of the session. If you're still listening right now, you're probably a big Michigan fan. So, Ant, thanks for joining the show. I'm sorry that Marty couldn't make it. We really wanted to have you on just to talk about Michigan's season, your expectations with Michigan, how they came. So I'll just kick it off to you. What did you think about like last night's loss?
Interesting game. Interesting game. I thought that there was a lot of adversity that Michigan had to overcome there. They went down like 10, 12 points, had some calls go the other way, and then you were able to have Kobe really kind of just take over there for a short stretch, and they got back to it under 4. And personally, I thought that that's when Michigan we've seen this year they've struggled to execute. I thought they executed fine, honestly. I mean, first play, Kobe comes off the right third, going hard to his left. I mean, that's almost a bucket every time. Missed the layup. I think Will got the rebound, missed the putback. That was fine. Next possession, it was like the dribble stuff. But then Hunter got fouled. He went 1 for 2, Big free throw miss by Hunt. But,
happens, man. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. So, and then in that next possession, I don't even know if it was a called counter, but I love the play where Hunter, you kind of knew that the double was coming, and Will kind of faked like he was going to the free throw line and then cut right to the rim, and you like hit him, and he got fouled. He should have made the layup and the foul. Too good of a player. Then he misses both free throws to like tie the game. Huge misses. Yeah. And then they come down and try to execute again, and then Doug gets picked. Like it's tough seeing the way that game kind of went, and then being able to like execute on 2 out of your 3 first plays and come out with just 1 point against a team who didn't score a field goal in the last 10-40?
10-40, which is ridiculous.
Oh my God. Hearing that after the game, that just like added even more salt to the wound.
Yeah. So like you guys really, one of the things that y'all really haven't done is just like locking down. And I think in the last like 8-9 games, you guys kind of figured out your identity defensively, I feel. I mean, there was the buzzsaw against Penn State, but they can do that to anyone because they're just kind of wild like that. But defensively, when you have Kobe doing what he's able to do defensively, when Hunter's fully engaged, whoever's at the 4, I like when they go big with either like Cheddar or they want to put Terrace in there. I love Terrence. I love Terrace the way that he had this one play, man. It was a cross screen. He spun and went the top route and sprinted his butt off to get the deflection or steal.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's growth. He would not do that 2 months ago. He wouldn't do that 2 months ago. But the fact that they were able to lock down the way that they did, let down offensively, I think that they had some opportunities. Wisconsin plays that clunky defense that really is not going to let you – they're not going to give up many good looks. They're not going to, give you anything easy at the rim. You just got to kind of find ways to get your leverage. And when you have your opportunities, you gotta finish. You gotta finish. And they didn't do that, unfortunately.
I thought Terrace played unbelievable, and exactly that deflection. There was a couple of winning plays. Michigan, from like my point of view, and anybody that's watched Michigan all year is just gonna say they haven't been able to close games out. I mean, obviously, you got like the Indiana game, the Iowa game, both come to mind, but this game felt like a game that they were gonna close out, and that it was gonna happen to Wisconsin. And I was like, it all the deflection. Then when Hunter had the stop on Crowell to force the shot clock violation, and then when you had the pass to Shetter, missed 2, that's a tie game. It's a whole different ball game right there. So the one thing from that I was kind of wondering to myself last night was it felt like Kobe had the hot hand, and the past couple of games he's been unbelievable. So I'm not even gonna really ask Hunter this because I don't know what was going on. I feel like he should have gotten the ball in one of those final 2 possessions, but they didn't go to him. Did you have any insight into that, or what did you think?
I mean, that play where Doug got picked, that very well could have
Yes,
been for Kobe. So we don't know.
that's what I was thinking.
Only Hunt can kind of say. So I think in that play, you're either playing through Hunter or you're playing through Kobe. And I think those are your only two options. When you're looking at, Hunter, he had a clear size advantage. And then you had Kobe, he kind of got whatever he wanted, whether it was from three, from midi, at the rim. He was able to kind of dictate whatever he wanted to do, whether he was on or off the ball.
Yeah.
That play was it was for, I would say it was probably for either Kobe or Jet. And then like I had the ability to step back, but it was kind of more of like a quick hitter at the end of the game, just trying to get a good look and just kind of put the ball in Doug's hands and kind of just hope that he makes the right play in that sense.
Yeah, because like he came up the right side, so I'm kind of feeling that's for Kobe because he'll be coming off left. But also that's also good for Jet because Jet, for like right-handed shooters coming off your left, it's a much easier shot. So it could have gone for either one, honestly.
So right now, obviously Michigan's not in the NCAA tournament.
No.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you think there's any path or there's any way for them to still get in?
You got to go 5-1 over your next 6 and got to win 2 in the Big Ten tournament.
That sounds easy enough, Hunter. Why don't we just do that? Get into the tournament. Why don't we just do that?
Like, you have to go to the rack. You have to go to Illinois. You got to go to Indiana. Like it's hard. But they did this to themselves, and they know that. They know that the non-conference was not good for them. I thought it was, from a standpoint of, wasn't good for the metrics because they were playing very bad teams very, very close. So the metrics hate you even more. It's one thing to beat bad teams, but if you only beat them by like under 10, the metrics will doo-doo all over you. So from that standpoint, and then from the second standpoint, because they weren't blowouts, because they weren't beating teams by 20, 25, 30 points, you also had guys like Isaiah Barnes, Terrace Reed, Will Cheddar not getting in the game with some of the starters and some of the rotation guys to develop, you know what I mean? So, so now Will can play 25 minutes and he's not, he probably hasn't played that much since he was in Minnesota like 3 years ago, So, you had him playing big minutes for the first time all year. That shouldn't be a thing, You should have plenty of games where like Will and Terrace are playing 10, 15, 17, 18 minutes. Even Isaiah Barnes, like he should have games like that. But that's that kind of does hurt development moving forward for sure. So they did it to themselves. It's going to be tough, but it's that's why you play the games. You're 14-12. If they end up 19-13, which is hell insane. Going to the Big Ten tournament, you win 2, and you end up 21-14. You still got that quad 4 loss. That doesn't go away. The close games don't go away. So at this point, honestly, it's all about get better each game and try to make a run. We've seen Michigan make runs in 17. They made runs in 18. They lost in a championship in 19, and I think they're talented enough. They have 2 pros on their perimeter. They have an All-American in Hunter. All you have to do is be the best team that day for just 3 or 4 straight days. It can happen. Do you see that right now? No, but at the same time, over the next 6 games, you've got to establish your rotation, and you got to be playing really good basketball.
Yeah, and I said this. No, you go, Hunter.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't be like, obviously, given how we've done right now, it's like everybody probably would be shocked. But like, would it be that crazy, Ant, if we went on a run and somehow just won the Big Ten tournament?
It wouldn't, because nobody's really scary in the league. And on top of that, like I said, when you have pro players, whenever you have a two-way guard in Kobe, whenever you have a dominant big, whenever you have someone like Jet who can go off for 30 any given night, all you have to do is just be the best team for just 1 week. That's it. That's all it comes down to. And them being a 8 or 9 seed, they still get that first bye. And that's just 4 games. We've seen it done before. And once you win that first game, quarterfinals come, you're playing a team who hasn't played yet. You've already got warm. You've already started playing. You're going. You play a team that hasn't played in a week. No matter what their seed, you come in and beat them. Semis come. All you got to do is win 2 games. 2 games is round of 64 and round of 32. That's it. All you got to do is win 2.
All you got to do is win 2 games, and your season is already pretty much a success.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I went to Dayton. Hunter knows this because I always talk about it, and obviously I'm like a mid-major, and I'm like telling like Marty, who's our co-host, who's a Duke fan, like I'm like, yeah, if we went to the Sweet 16, that's a good year. Like you have to like, he looks at it as like, if you make it to don't make it to the Final Four, you guys suck. It's like, no, that's not like that's like why do people even look at it like that? Like Gonzaga, it pisses me off when people are like, oh, like Gonzaga never gets it done. It's like they lost in the championship twice in 5 years. Like they don't suck. They got there, so. That stuff always pissed me off. But I was telling Hunter a couple episodes ago, Michigan the past couple years has had a point guard that's left, and I feel like this year it's kind of caught up to them and bit them in the ass.
It pisses me off. It's stupid. It's stupid. You go from having Trey Burke for 2 years, and then you get Derek Walton for 4, then you get Simpson for 4, and then you got 5 point guards over the last 4 years. You got to have that continuity, or else you're just reteaching everything over and over and over.
Yep.
And you just can't do that. Why was Simpson successful? Why was Walton successful? Is because they came in and rubbed shoulders with someone who was like in the shit, someone who's gone to the tourney, who's won games in the tourney, and they've. Like Walton's rubbing shoulders with like, someone in like, who was there? Man, so like he's rubbing shoulders with like Stauskas, right?
Yeah, Stauskas,
and then like Stauskas and Karras, right? Those dudes just played in a national championship game. They go to an Elite Eight, right? They end up losing some crazy way to Kentucky, right? But the fact is, Zach Irvin and Derek Walton, they were able to rub shoulders with those dudes for a full year, right? Move forward, what was Simpson able to do? He was able to rub shoulders with guys who like along with Walton, playing with guys like Wagner and all that, and they're able to like continue that on as well. Like that's why you've seen them be able to have a letdown season of 30 wins in 2019. That was a letdown. 30 wins in the Sweet 16. Complete letdown. Now they got to find a way to get some guys to come back. I would love if Llewellyn came back, honestly. I would love that. I would love if Llewellyn came back and give Doug the keys. But if Llewellyn's first guard off the bench, and who knows with Kobe, because his stock is kind of going nuts right now. But if Kobe were to come back, I see him as like a mid-first lottery guy in 24. You have Kobe at the 2, Doug at the 1, and then you got you have Llewellyn, like a 5th-year guy who was the man in the Ivy League, come in and be that first guard off the bench. Your backcourt depth looks completely different, and you have 3rd-year Kobe, 2nd-year Doug, 2nd-year Llewellyn. So now the captains of your ship aren't starting over. The captains of your ship are just building up this previous year.
What? So like the Big Ten overall this year, we always talk about like the Big Ten beating the shit out of everybody, and that everyone's always beating each other. Is this the craziest year in the Big Ten that you've seen?
It's weird because I think it's lacking the. It's weird to say because like Edie's probably national player of the year, but I just think from like a pro standpoint, it's really lacking that firepower. I know you have Bryce Sensabaugh is going to be like a mid-late first, Jet around the same, but there's no Jaden Ivies in this. Johnny Davis, people give him crap, whatever. He was still a top 10 pick. You had Keegan Murray as well too, right there, who was a complete dog last year for Iowa. Just from there's nobody scary for me. And I think that's why I think they have a chance to win in the Big Ten tournament, given they're playing the right way at the right time. Now, in the non-conference as a whole, they did their job. They lost 2 bye games. One was to Central from Michigan, and the other was Eastern Illinois against
Yep.
Iowa. But that Iowa team, they were missing McCaffrey and Murray. Still can't lose that game, but those were the only 2 bye games that they lost. Look at the ACC between Florida State and Louisville themselves. I think they lost like 5 or 6 bye games, just those 2 teams. So that hurts. That hurts your conference big time. And like that's why you see Nebraska's top 100 in the net, because they didn't really have a terrible loss. You know what I mean? Outside of Minnesota, like everybody's in that like top 95 range
now. So you talked about, Zach Edey probably being like the biggest name. Purdue, the team. Do you think this might be the year for them to make a deep run?
No.
See, that's what I'm thinking too, Ant. Do you think their reliance on Zach Edey and their inexperience at the guards might come back to hurt him in the tournament?
Yeah, so like coming into this year, first of all, Matt Painter's done a hell of a job with that team. He should be player of the year. Not player of the year, coach of the year. Absolutely, man, maybe like national coach of the year. Because I wrote them off. I'm like, yo, they lost 4 guards. They lost Stefanovic, they lost Turner, they lost the other low guard. I think his name is like Thompson, and they lost Jay Ivey to the NBA draft. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, yo, like, I'm like, they might be like, what, like 8th or 9th? 8th or Walker.
And they lost Travion.
Relax.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a show without Walker, I swear. No, but he I mean, you're looking at a team who in their losses, it's been the same thing every time. Like even when they were playing Iowa at home, I'm sitting here, I'm like, only reason why Iowa's back in this game is because the backcourt's not doing what they need to do. Braden Smith has had an awesome year. He's gonna be all freshman. Fletcher Lawyer's gonna be an awesome year. He's gonna be all freshman too. Maybe all Big Ten. He should get all Big Ten. But when you're looking at the NCAA tournament, if you don't have a perimeter pro, and you get matched up with the wrong team who doesn't care about Zach Edey or is able to somewhat neutralize that or attack your guards and perimeter so heavy that it's going to be hard to feed him, right? Because the best way to guard a big that's really good, irritating the perimeter so they can't even see him. And if they do a good job there, it's going to be really, really tough for them to beat some of these teams. And it's nothing against them. It's nothing against them at all whatsoever. I love their team. I love TKR and First, how that like small big lineup, and Gillis is a dog. I like Brandon Newman. I wish he had more of a role. Then you had David Jenkins is a really good backup coming in from, I think it's like Utah. He played at UNLV as well too.
Yeah.
Ethan Morton, probably the best glue guy possibly in the country. And he shoots like 30% from the field, but he does so many little things. But there's some teams that don't care about any of that shit. And what they're going to do is they're going to take away how they're going to get the ball.
The thing with Purdue that I completely agree with you guys on the fact that they don't have like any star power at like the guard position really or whatnot. But I still think that they'll make a run. Like I think they'll be in the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, because there's not many teams that I think can match up with Edey, and they don't seem to have any egos. Last year you had the egos of Trevion Williams and Jaden Ivey, especially coming with all those high expectations. But yeah, I think that Purdue could be can make a run.
I mean,
Ant Wright,
if
like,
you're a 1 seed, you should get to a Sweet 16.
For sure. And like that's the thing is, who are these lower seeds gonna be? Because obviously when it comes down to the tournament, it's all about matchups. Who are they gonna be these low? That's exactly what I was thinking.
If they mess around and match up with like a Creighton, or like one of these teams who have a big that can really get them, like if they're in the Sweet 16 and they match up with like Xavier, who may drop a little bit as like a 1-4 game, they're going to be in trouble. They're going to be in trouble.
If Creighton ends up as a 9 and they get Creighton in the 1-9 game, they're losing that.
Oh, I don't think.
I would love to see that game.
I don't know if that big can handle.
Kalkbrenner?
Yeah, I
He's
don't
Big
know.
East Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Yeah, but
This is a little Big Ten Big East rivalry.
he hasn't seen an Edie yet.
Yeah, but
That's
you're taking Nemhard and Shireman.
Yeah, exactly. Their guard play and
And
everything.
you're taking Alexander over
Kaluma's
Yeah, even Kaluma's a lot.
You need pro guards to win a championship, because at the end of the day, you need one of them to be able to hit a timely shot for you to win.
Yeah. And it's like, but it's weird this year because a lot of the top teams don't have a legit pro guard. A lot of the pro guards aren't in college basketball.
Yeah, I was about to say.
They're in OTE, they're in G, they're overseas. So
The
that's like the weird part about it. That's weird.
Yeah, like,
That was
why there's no real star power in college. Like, everybody's like, there's not that Zion Williamson, there's not that Paulo. Like Marty always says that. It's because, I mean, the top 2 players are not in college, and then it's like I'm looking at mock drafts and I feel like the majority of the players aren't even in college basketball.
Yeah, so like you do have Brandon Miller, who is a real good player for Alabama. I think he would be like the one. He would be the one. Grady Dick, possibly also for Kansas. But it's few and far between. I like Houston this year, though. I like them since.
Thank you, Ant. I've been preaching that for weeks.
Well, I mean,
and fucking called out.
Houston is in everybody's Final Four, I think, dude.
No,
They're a bunch of dogs. They're just a bunch of dogs. Like,
it's just like if I had it confidently, if I'm filling out a bracket right now, I don't know who's playing who. I'm putting Houston straight to the Final Four, and they're the only team I do that for.
Yeah, I like Marcus Sasser. I like their whole team.
Come on,
I like their little freshman and Jarris Walker.
Yes. Yep.
I just think they just got a bunch of dudes who don't care about anything except
Don't sleep on Tennessee.
biting your legs.
Don't sleep on
Dude, Tennessee stinks. Houston is who everyone thinks Tennessee is. They're better defensively than Tennessee. They can actually score the ball. They can beat you 40-39, or they can beat you 65-64.
I like Tennessee too, though. I do like that.
Really, I'm such a Tennessee. So my 2 teams I think that are on fraud alert that don't make it to the Sweet 16 are Xavier and Tennessee.
Not to the Sweet 16?
Yeah, I think that they're both going to get upsets.
Well, I mean, if they play Michigan again.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Yeah, just got to avoid that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think Tennessee just goes to these, like how Houston can stop teams from scoring and go on these like 12-0 runs and just suffocate you. Yeah. Tennessee just does it to themselves where they just will not score. Just go through draft. And talk about the tournament and whatnot. Who's like a draft prospect that everyone should get should have as like written down for the tournament?
I mean, there's the obvious ones in Brandon Miller. There's the obvious ones in Grady Dick.
Yeah, like dark horse.
Dark horse? Should I stick with Houston and go Marcus Sasser?
Is he gonna? Could he play him? Is he a lottery pick right now?
I don't think he's a dark horse. I think everybody knows about him.
Everyone knows about him.
You get confused because there will be this. There is this bias. There is a bias, in my opinion, around that. People do just forget about Houston. Like, if you really follow college basketball, you know who Marcus Sasser is. But for the most part, like when I'm just talking to my friends and they're like, "Who's on Houston?" Nobody really knows.
Because they all look the same. They're just all animals. All of them.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna look through.
Like DeRon Holmes, like Mike Sharp-Jomps from like Dayton. Like, who we talking?
I'm gonna see someone.
You didn't get that. You didn't get that
one. You know what? You know who I'm gonna say? The NBA draft chat that I'm in don't agree with me, but I like Kobe Brown
from Missouri.
Yes,
I like Kobe Brown. He is older, but he's 6'8". He's a matchup nightmare.
In the beginning of the year, he was dropping 30 for like consecutive games.
Yeah. But I mean, but then you get into conference play and people have their style of play and you kind of got to adjust to them being pretty much a new team with a new coach. The dude from Cleveland State who's done an excellent job with them. The fact that he has them looking like they're probably in the tournament, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts, honestly. I feel bad about Arkansas because they haven't been healthy all year long. Brazil got hurt, and then Nick Smith has been off and on. That's been really, really tough. Nick Smith, another one who should be a lottery. If you're talking about a team who can come in, like sneak in and beat a 1 seed because they're going up against some guards who are legit. That's one with him and like Anthony Black.
Yeah,
that is a legit backcourt. That's a legit backcourt.
Council too. I mean, they got the number 1 recruiting class, the number 1 portal class, and I mean, if you're talking about a coach that can coach someone in to being like Musselman's the guy. They beat Gonzaga last year.
I love Muss. He's like 5'4", but that dude is awesome. He is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say Muss. Yeah.
Can you believe Pitt? What they've been able to do?
And we've been praying. Everybody, usually people pray on people's downfall. We've been praying on their upfall. We've been following Pitt closely over here at Michigan, hoping
they have been doing their thing. They've been doing their thing for sure.
Especially without probably their best player in Hughley being out.
Yeah. And you're looking at
Capel went from being on the hot seat to like in that ACC Coach of the Year conversation.
Man, look at Chris Collins too. Look at Chris Collins.
Hoiberg too.
Yeah, Hoiberg.
This is the year of.
He went to the rack last night and won by 10. Like,
this is the year of coaches getting off the hot seat.
Yeah, this is the
rack
year.
Won by 10. And the people don't know I'm telling you, there's something on them rims that just don't let shots go in. They don't let shots go in.
That's hilarious you say that because, again, I'm only a JV basketball player that sucked. But we went to the rack for like a shoot around, and I was shooting. I was just bricking. And I just wrote it off as just like I suck at basketball. But I kept joking around like, there's something with these rims. There's something with these rims. Still.
If you look at Rutgers home versus away for the past like 10 years, it's probably insane.
Dude, they're sneaking in with their recruits. Have you seen like the top recruits and they're like Final Fives? Rutgers is in like every single one.
Oh yeah, Pikel knows what he's doing, and then on top of that, they're coming to visit and they're seeing them play some like scrub team and it's like sold out. Like that stuff matters to a lot of recruits. You know, they want to make sure that the fan base is always there. They're always in it, and that's a huge deal, honestly.
I guess this is I guess we're staying on the coaching topic. Say a blue blood opens up soon, or like, we're talking UConn, Nova, Duke, any of the blue blood jobs open. Who's the next coach that you think everyone will know about? Who gets the next opportunity?
Who should?
Yeah.
I got two. I got two for you. One is Nate Oates, Alabama. The other one is TJ Otzelberger.
From Iowa State?
Yeah, from Iowa State.
He's been doing good.
He's down there. I mean, he lost Isaiah Brockington. He lost Hunter, who was arguably the best freshman guard last year, to NIL. And he's out here. I mean, like, Hunter, I don't think you played against Gabe Kalsher, but like Gabe Kalsher.
I did. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
So like Gabe Kalsher from Minnesota, like super mid Gophers team. He's down there leading that team to like a top 15 national ranking in like a top 4, top 5 seed. And TJ did this almost instantaneously. And he's got a 5-star coming in Omaha Baloo, and like, man, like that dude's a really good coach. It's a really good coach. He'll be in the Final Four one day for sure.
It's very funny. Iowa State too. I think that Hoiberg was the first person when he was there to really build the transfer portal and see Otzelberger be able to kind of do it. Same way, like who wants to go to Ames, Iowa? Like no offense to Ames, Iowa, but crazy to be able to just pull people out there, especially when you're probably coming from like Miami's or whatever. But yeah, I think Altenberg is a coach.
If you're a Nate Oates, do you even want to leave Alabama? Like, I feel like the NIL's busting down there. They're paying him pretty well, I think.
I think he just got extended, but I think if the right job opens up, I think he'll definitely go for it.
It's like that classic. It's that classic Nick Saban coach. Like when he was with the Dolphins, he's like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going to be the head coach at Alabama. It's like everybody's staying until there's a nice offer.
Yeah. And he will always be in the shadow of the football program, no matter what he does. So, at that point, it's no longer really about money. Like, yes, money matters, but at the same time, as a competitor, you want to be that top dog for sure.
What about the Notre Dame job?
Yes,
Mike Bray's saying
it's kind of a mid job.
Tough job.
It is. It's an extremely tough job, bro. Like I remember,
it is tough, but
I remember in high school they couldn't even offer Earl Timberlake because of grades.
That was my first letter at O'Connell. I got it in like the first day of school. Joe Wooten's like, hey, Anthony, come over here. Look, you got a letter from Notre Dame.
freaking Joe Wooten, man. Oh my gosh. That coach right there coaches with probably, I don't know how he hasn't had a heart attack. I don't know how he hasn't.
You think Izzo screams? This dude makes Izzo look like, oh man.
In high school, dude,
just real tame.
I don't know how he hasn't gotten like a stress fracture in his foot or something yet, just from stomping. Like it's Joe Wooten, man.
He's the same Joe.
I'm surprised we didn't push for him. Like I thought he was gonna be a dark horse for the DeMatha job, honestly.
For real? When Mike left?
Once Mike left. But I mean,
nah, man. I know his pops was there, but I think he wants to do his own thing. Which
he definitely does. You're absolutely
right. Like he's been there forever. Like we're talking like 20 plus years. He's been there for a long time.
Yeah, we're talking DMV hoops now, Dukes.
We're talking WCAC. He's like, man, what are you guys talking about, DeMatha?
Yeah, only a few listeners are going to get this one.
Oh man! Shout out to my boy who's coaching in the WCAC at St. John's. My boy Pat Behan, dog.
So, that story's crazy, dude.
We were on the same U12 team.
Really?
Yeah.
For who? Who'd you guys play for?
Man, you wouldn't even know. We were called like the Loudon Cyclones, which like looking back at it, like we had 5 guys go Division I.
That's DMV basketball, man.
From Loudon County. Like me, Pat, dude went to Davidson, one went to Cincinnati. Then another one went to Boise State.
That's the thing about DMV hoops that people don't understand. Like we always talk about like the top names and like how good like DMV basketball is for like the top names, but it's like there's so many teams, bro, that like we don't even field the best possible AAU teams because it's like everybody's playing with guys that they've known forever, and it's just like select groups of teams that have like 3 to 5 Division I players on a team that like don't even get that much recognition, and they just end up blowing up in college and really succeeding because they were just overshadowed by guys in the area. Like if you're a college coach, you can't, like, you have to pick between going to all these schools. You can't be at all these schools at once. And so that's how guys just get looked over. And especially now with the transfer portal, like college coaches aren't really looking for freshmen anymore. So it's just going to be.
They're not. That sucks. That really sucks for the high schoolers. Like when you're looking at even if combine the portal, NIL, and given that COVID extra year, like it's like, bro, if you were in college the last few years, that's like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Some of these dudes have been playing for like 4 or 5 teams. It's insane. It's insane.
Charlie Moore.
Yeah, Charlie Moore.
Mr. Illinois basketball when he played at like 4 schools.
I'm pretty sure a dude from New Mexico State last year, I think he played for like 6 different teams.
Oh, yes. You're talking about because he played in Nebraska. Dude,
Yes.
what's his name?
It's like Teddy something. Teddy
Teddy Allen.
Yes.
Teddy Allen. Yeah.
Timmy Allen, his brother plays for Texas.
Timmy plays for Texas, yes.
Teddy Allen, bro. That dude is hilarious. Oh my god. Bro, he's the first dude to ever call a bank three. He called it in the game. He shot it was like I can't remember if it was a shot clock. I think it was a shot clock was like 2-1. He shot it because this was COVID, so there's no fans, so you could hear everything. All you hear is backboard, boom, and I'm like, yo, what the hell?
What are you on right now,
bro? I said,
what do you mean?
That's crazy.
Oh man.
All right, Hunter, you got anything else?
I think that's it for us, and I appreciate you getting on here for as long as you did, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. Doogs, hey, look, I got a question. Did y'all see G and Carter's spoof of y'all's show?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
We're not giving guys free promotion on this.
Wait, Ant, what are you talking about?
We're not giving free promotion.
Hunter, I have no idea what he's talking about. Talk about a ricochet shot for being friends. We were being friendly.
We were being friendly, and that's where it gets.
I'm pretty sure, bro. That was the funny. Y'all even know that.
Dude, my friends fucking loved it. They were like, dude, they made you out. They're like, they made you out to be the biggest dweeb of all time. Like, my friends were goofing with me, and I was just like, I don't even want to. I was like, I can't even. Like not in like a disrespectful way. I was like, I can't even rebuttal because I have nothing bad to say. Like
it was so good, and they're like the most chill dudes too, man. It was all for fun.
Yeah, I'm sure they're great guys. I was like, I don't know what you guys want me to say. You guys win, checkmate. Yeah, it's funny.
Man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, there's some things where you just got to let it blow over, man. There's some things you just can't respond to. You just gotta let them have their victory.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I can't beat this. I'm not gonna like spoof them and do a shitty job. So I was like, I'll let them get this one. Yeah.
Yeah. If you respond, you're letting them win even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
They won really because my friends were just ripping me on the group chat, being like, "You fucking dude." I was like, "Fuck this, man."
I watched it no less than like 10 times, bro. Like over like a week, just crying, laughing, just so.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, though. It was good.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Anytime, just hit me up. Y'all already know.
All right, that's Roundball. We'll see you guys soon.